tried the little stool out. It's okay, y'all don't have to get quiet. Just I'm like, keep talking. I'm not even here yet. Like, y'all can do whatever you want. You have agency. Do what you need to do. Oh, sorry. I realized that people are witnessing me do this. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our very beautiful and intimate space tonight. I guess I should introduce myself, even though I know many of you already. My name is Camille Asia. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, poet, writer, and Raja Yoga guide. So a lot of what I do when I do hold space, I do bring the breath and I do bring a little bit of movement into the space. So, welcome to Not a NoPlace. This is, thank you. Thank you. This is maybe like our third or fourth gathering, but we took a little hiatus. Thank you. Fourth gathering. We took a hiatus because I went to New York and now I'm back. So I thank you so much for being here tonight. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. So before we get started, in true Camille fashion, I would love to invite y'all to move into a little bit of movement, if your body welcomes that. And that's just like seated. We're just taking it real slow today. Okay. All right. Okay. So, an invitation, if you have things in your hands, you can place them down, place them wherever you won't forget to kick it over. And if it feels good, I invite you to maybe lower the gaze or close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes, but whatever feels safest for you at this time. And if you don't want to do any of this, I honor you. Please just like chill, like do nothing. But if you're with me, an invitation just to feel the earth beneath your feet. Maybe feel the seat beneath your sitting bones. You might feel your chair at your back if you're leaning on it. Maybe you notice the clothes that you're wearing, if they're scruffy or soft. Just noticing. And while we're here, I'm just going to invite you to take a few collective breaths with me. A reminder to honor your own breath and your own life force energy. And if it doesn't match with my cueing, please listen to yourself and listen to the rhythm that your breath wants to follow. So wherever you are, taking a deep breath in, and an exhale, sigh it out if you'd like. Taking another deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. And on this next breath, I'm just going to invite you to take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Hold at the top. Exhale, sigh it out. And I invite you now to continue deep breathing at a rhythm and pace that feels good and nourishing to you. And if it feels welcome, I invite you to maybe gently sway in your seat. If there's another movement that feels better, feel free to do that too. Just finding a gentle sway. My practice of Raja Yoga is all about moderation, and oftentimes the world is asking for us to stretch ourselves thin, and it's not our fault, but we've become addicted to stretching ourselves as far out as we can go, even when we become translucent and we aren't able to hold even ourselves. So just be mindful. Even if you can do the movement like so well, dial it back. So an invitation now. I'm just going to invite you to raise your hands above your head if that feels good. Just stretching the fingertips. Maybe you're playing, a sky piano. No one knows what this is. You're twinkling, the stars are twinkling in your fingers, whatever we want to call it. Play the sky piano. And whenever you're ready, if you'd like, you can bring those arms to a goal post and come into a very mini back bend, just allowing your chest to move forward and your spine to arch just a little bit. And in your own time, you can exhale, bring your hands down to your knees, and maybe round the shoulders forward ever so slightly. Taking one deep breath here. And on your next inhale, just bringing those arms back up to the sky. Coming into your own goal pose whenever you're ready. Taking your mini back bend. And on your next exhale, letting the palms float down to kiss your knees. And allowing your shoulders, your back to round forward ever so slightly. And then an invitation just to continue this movement at your own pace. Coming to your mini back bend as you please. And then in your own time, finding your way back down to your knees and rounding the spine a bit. This is your adventure. Feel free to do any other movements your body might be calling for as well. You're not stuck or, tied to anything. And whenever you feel complete, we are just going to roll our shoulders up to our ears, ever so slightly, and then allowing them to roll down the back. Let's see if we can sync our movement with our breath here. Inhaling, bringing the shoulders up to the ears. Exhaling, let it roll down your back. Inhale, bringing the shoulders up. Exhale, allowing them to float down the back. And just do maybe 2 or 3 of these at your own pace. Seeing if you can sync your movement with your breath. And whenever you do feel the energy of completion, just go the other way. Even it out. Welcome in. Y'all are right on time. And when you feel the energy of completion, we're just going to come into a little bit of a twist. So inhaling, your hands up above your head or wherever they want to go. And then we bring our right hand to our left knee, left hand to whatever you can touch on your side. Like, yeah. And no need to like go too far here. Just a little baby twist. Taking one deep breath here. And on your next inhale, bringing the palms back up to the sky and bringing it over onto the other side. So left hand meets right knee. Right hand comes down to where you can be right now. I don't know how it works in your chair. Taking one more deep breath here. And then in your own time, making your way back over to the other side. And you'll just do one more to each side. And when you feel complete, you can just find your way back to your center. All right. If you feel complete, feel free to just settle into your chair and just notice your breath. And if you have other movements that are asking to kind of flow through your body, feel free to do that as well. An invitation to honor the land that you are on, speaking aloud or in your head the names of the original peoples here. The Nipmuc, Pocumtuck, and I'm not in New York, but gotta name the Lenape people, bringing them into this space because I take New York with me everywhere. Taking a moment to honor the ancestors on whose shoulders we stand. Inviting whomever, a name, a feeling, an intention into this space. That might sound like, I choose to be present, or I open myself up to whatever this space has to offer me. Just repeating your intention to yourself as we sit in silence and gratitude. And when you feel the energy of completion, an invitation to come back to our collective space. I want to share a poem with you before I introduce our featured artists for the evening. So if you'd like to listen to the poem with your eyes closed, you can. Or you can open them. The choice is yours. So this poem is called For Sonia by Aja Monet. It's one of my favorite poems ever written. And Aja actually performs it with like a live band. And so I'm just gonna read this poem. I will name that there are just like some mentions of, grief, pain, our heroes who have maybe unalived themselves. And so if that feels like a lot, no judgment at all, because it is a lot. Take the space that you need. For Sonia by Aja Monet. As if we did not lose another, as if life were never so convenient and guns so easy to reach. Our country's so trigger happy these days, or sad, depending on who's dying today, depending on the touch. The moon raises my rivers yesterday. I leaked all around the house, a bad cough and a cloud looking over my shoulder as I wrote. And though I cry, I am celebrating a woman I love, who loved me before I knew myself to be, what blooms in the blood, what scratches the voice, trembles words. Every day is a new morning. Another fight we live to dance between tears beating on our face. I am tired of strength. I am tired of strength. When I first showed up to the community organizing meeting, I uttered the word poetry, and their faces sunk with confusion. Who's got time for poems when the world's on fire and your brother's body on your front door and your sister's been missing for weeks and your dad got laid off and your mother gone mad with mothering and your uncle locked up and your aunt need a fix? I mean, life can get you down and out. But when the organizers was weary and all the marching wore them down, and all the meetings ended in arguments, and all the foundations brought out the snakes, and all the trauma piled up on their desks, and all the campaigns ended with politicians, I offered poems in their palms like petunias, revolutionary and blushing shades of plum. I fed them Sonia and Jane and June and Pat Parker and Carolyn Rogers, how every poem still pierces true. Like yesterday's battle is tomorrow's front yard. Still all my heroes is fighting depression. Some live to see what they fought to prevent, and we ought to keep our hopes high. But all this comfort and security got our institutions kidnapped in broad daylight, treaty torn and tricked, bamboozled by the beaming brilliance of greed, got our babies programmed for numbness. Content is. And what is an enemy if we do not know who our friends are? And who is a comrade these days when the poems are good depending on who reposts them, depending on who's fetching for awards? And who will feed our activists, our organizers' freedom, if not the poets? We are losing our frontline warriors to suicide and not choosing to fight is a sort of sacrifice, a kind of offering. All our children have become altars to the Liberation Front. The other day we lost Amber Evans, baby girl found in the Scioto River. She was 28. And before that, it was Erica Gardner, heart full of storm and lightning. She was 27. And before that, it was Marshawn McCarl on the steps of the Ohio State House, haunted by the hunting. He was 23. Bassem Masri, our Palestinian brother from another mother. And what about Ferguson and Edward Crawford and Darren Seals, and how dreams still smell of tear gas and milk? We cry trumpets and turntables in the corners of our hopes. We rhythm and blues. And though I cry, I am celebrating a woman I love. She who turned the pen in her hand to a grenade, haiku homegirl, folklore florist, flung stories into our minds, planted orchids and daffodils, sunflowers. She who shivered the sky, rain showers and sunsets born of her blessing, the flesh of her words, kindred sister who wrote for daughters of a movement, who say, do, and act, the call, response, resist, riot of our rebellious laughter. And as we readied our reasons for writing, we armed ourselves with her poems, a strategy for organizing the heart, prophetic prayers, a smile made of spirituals and birth pains. These days it hurts to write. Every sentence is a false promise. Is we, or is we not, trying to get free? And when the poems do what they do, they get it done. Sister Sanchez, eternal fellow fire spitter, bad to the bone. I never met a poet who loved us like you do, all of us. And when my anger knocks the wind out of my weeping, I sit on the hills of your humming words and feast on all the ways we got to get to where we're going. In the quiet mirror of a poem, how to be human, how to shake loose arms outstretched, summoning us, uncool and truth-telling care, how to heal in the cathedral of hands. This is a poem for you and for us, for all the poems that sistered us in this ancestral war, all the lines somersaulting Sister Sanchez. You are our North Star in our darkest nights. I love Aja Monet. I wanted to share this poem with you because I feel like gathering in the name of art while we are witnessing numerous genocides feels like it's not enough. And it's not. Like, that's the truth. It's not, but it's important. And Aja Monet, especially in this poem, names for us that when the organizers got weary, when our warriors get weary, that's what the artists are here for. When they're, focusing only on the physical realm, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're hungry. The artists, we feed them. We nourish the soul. We remind them of who they are. And there is no revolution without us. And it feels, it feels like that's not enough still, But I believe in our art. I believe in the word. I believe in stories and its power to, transform us, make a new world. And I wanted to share that with y'all. And our featured Our feature of the evening is someone I really, really respect. Oh, I'm not gonna cry. That's a lot. Kayara is brilliant. She's really brilliant. And came into my life at a time when I thought there was no point in writing. You know, I was writing, but I didn't really see the point. It's not saving anybody. It's not nourishing anybody. It doesn't matter. And in the truest way, she just carries the spirit of the artist. Like if you talk to her, it's obvious that there is something powerful in the room with her, you know, like, yeah. I'm going to read this beautiful paragraph about her and the piece that she will perform. I'm so excited for you to hear it. I cried. I will cry again. She's an icon. Kayara Akiva, she, her, is a writer. I'm like, okay. She, her, please. Is a writer, facilitator, and multidisciplinary creative inventor. She's been telling stories since before she could form sentences and writing everything since before she could pick up a pencil. Now that she can do both, she thinks neither are necessary. She writes in every medium with honesty, curiosity, and excitement. Writing is the love of her life. And I'm so excited for y'all to hear that love in real time. So please put your hands together or whatever together, anything. You can scream, you can yell, you can stomp for the incredible Kayara Akiva. Okay, also, I need to readjust. Okay, come on, Mama, tell them. Okay, fair. Thanks, Mama. You were a real one. Is this okay? I don't know if you.
It's good. I love you.
Oh my God, there's so many videos. I know. I don't know when y'all arrived, but hey.
So excited.
Is this? Tell me if you need the mic lower. If you like this angle.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's cool. I just wanted to hug you.
Of course, I love you. I'm so excited.
All right. Hi, everyone. I just need to, in my head. It's so lovely. Okay. If we were birds, interior, exterior, a cabin in Macmudus, dawn. I want to tell you about the birds. How they woke me one time in some quiet, early hour only God could name, and how surprised I was to find they sang every single song but shame. Since then, I've wondered what I'd sing, what any of us would if we moved like birds, spoke like them, all at once, a chorus. Would we hear ourselves more clearly through the echo? In Black Liturgies, Cole Arthur Riley says, "We actually do know who we are, and the question really is whether we feel safe enough, supported enough to listen." So I'm telling you about the birds because I know that the safety of my Black queer being is one of many threats to this thing otherwise known as the United States of America. And I want no part of a safety in its design. I'm telling you about the birds because I want you to know me and I want to know you. Because I need your help in sewing the silkiest, yummiest blanket of truth to wrap our bodies in and everyone we love like our lives depend on it, because they do. And I am tired of singing songs of shame. I'm telling you about the birds because in this quilted, collective safety, not the comfortable kind, but the honest kind, the tender kind, the kind patterned in patience, embroidered in grace, in it might the genuine in me step forward to meet that in you, and in the sounds of their footsteps might we find a rhythm like revolution. I'm telling you about the birds so that next time you're awake, in some quiet, early hour only God can name, that you listen closely for each syllable of your selfhood and let her sing in chorus with those loud, shameless birds. And for now, I will tell you about the song of Kayara Akiva. Present you with her biology so that you may find me always where I wait to meet you. My song is the wind's whistle when two black-eyed Susans dance in the exhale of a summer evening, the buzz of honeybees gliding about their petals in the golden hour, the shh when the flowers touch, the sweetest kiss and most promising growl. Can you hear it? Thank you all. That's the end of that one, by the way. Thank you. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna keep going rapid fire through stuff. But I just wanted to take a brief pause to say and express the gratitude that I have for Not a NoPlace, for Lucille Clifton, for all of you witnessing, for those of you that will sit here and read later this evening. And of course, for the privilege we all have of being in the orbit of dear Camille, who is so kind and so genuine and created this refuge for us. It's just, I read at a Not a NoPlace a few months ago after not writing for so long. So hearing your intro with what you were saying was you and we're just, and I was in the feature. I was just a person who signed up, and that was enough. And that will be enough. And always will be, So it's just an honor to have been asked to read tonight and to just try stuff, just read new stuff. We're in it. And I wanted to also just say, before I keep going, this quote that has been with me for a little bit. Here it is. Revolution begins with the self, in the self. It may be lonely, certainly painful. It'll take time. We've got time. That, of course, is an unpopular utterance these days. Instant coffee is the hallmark of current rhetoric, but we do have time. We'd better take time to fashion revolutionary selves, revolutionary lives, revolutionary relationships. Mouth don't win the war. It don't even win the people. And neither does haste, urgency, and stretch out now insistence. Not all speed is movement. Toni Cade Bambara, The Black Woman, 1970. And now, Scenes from Becoming, Part 1, Interior Thoughts, Days. I've got a sleepy kind of energy about me these days, and not a sleepy that demands rest or is ravenous from depletion or sadness. It's a sleepiness because I'm busy becoming, and it takes energy to transform. And so I'm operating like this at this time, this special hour where every minute is a rainbow, even in the pouring rain. My spirit is growing tall, so I am trying to be extra kind and patient with myself during this sweet, colorful time. Reminder, Scene A. Interior scrapbook of my childhood. Memory. I was a confident child, and I knew who I was, and I was not afraid to say so, and I did so often, and I was loving and kind. I was a confident child. I knew who I was not afraid to say so. I did so often, and I was loving and kind. I was confident. I knew. I was not afraid. I did so often. I was loving. I was kind. Confident, not afraid, loving, kind. I am confident. I am a little afraid. I do so anyway. I am loving. I am kind. Truth. Exterior, 14 through 24. The afternoon. I don't remember when I stopped living as question and started holding myself in question, but somewhere on the bus through adolescence, I got off at the wrong stop and found myself left behind, my body in some strange land, no map, or so I thought. Questions. Part 1. Interior, that big, beautiful brain of yours. Infinity. Are you familiar with the texture of no? Can you recognize what it tastes like in your mouth? The path your tongue makes from the backs of your front teeth down, down, down to that gummy valley behind your bottom teeth. What shape does no form on those pillowed lips when you let them see the light of day? What does it do to the face, to the spirit, to let loose a meaty, honest, firm no, and actually let that be, as they say, the end of the sentence? Have you visited the lands no takes you to when unrestricted by explanation or apology? What if no was expansive? What if in no, freedom sits cozy with a mug of tea and a wool blanket, asking, where have you been all my life? What if there is agency there? What if you led with an internal no and listened earnestly for the reverb of a natural-born yes? How different could life be if you started right now, not just, or by just, biting into a gooey, chocolatey no? Do it right now. Let it melt in your mouth. learn to love everything about its full-bodied sweetness. Do you know how to say no? When's the last time you said it? Portrait at the edge of heartbreak. Interior, bedroom, the in-between. If it tells you anything at all, two people melt into each other in a 12 by 12 room in a second floor apartment in the dead of winter, meeting for the first time somehow in those scarce hours, too early to be morning, too late to be night. The first asks, with a sleepy, sultry voice, "How do you like to be touched?" She replies, sultry too, but in a different way, "I want to be devoured." And the other person leans down to where she lies, just a few inches below, where pieces of her pour down her cheeks and pool in the corner of her parted lips, as if waiting to be drunk while she's waiting to be kissed. If it tells you anything at all, it really did feel good sometimes to be devoured. At least, she wanted it to feel good. And what good would it do to feed the seed of otherwise when it was too early for morning anyway? I know all this because I heard her say so, found confessions like loose change weighing down those rare pockets of silence between them. We find ways to reveal ourselves, I suppose, even if that means you can only hear yourself outside of yourself. I thought for a while that some person in a 12 by 12 room in an apartment in the dead of winter would make me real, would stop the fiction of self-betrayal and animate me into a different kind of action, make an honest woman out of me. But this kind of love has only ever made a liar out of me, made the truth feel like an accident, a slip-up, had "I'm sorry" singing from my lips like my own name, made me think the moon and stars were hung by string and shrunk the world to half its size. And if it tells you anything at all, this is what happens when you pretend the morning didn't start that very first second. And really, it's what happens when you wait for someone else to show you yourself, because that's what it's really all about. That's what it's always been about, because I never wanted to be devoured, couldn't have been anything other than prey, because I wanted to be found. So what if I told you the truth and admitted that this is not about some other person and that this conversation is one I'm having with myself? Because, Kayara, it's me who wants to touch you. I just thought I had to give you a way to do it. It was the only way I thought I'd ever get permission to be the one to press those dimples on the insides of your knees and watch the way your thighs just fall open like the oldest, most beautiful brown leather book, the kind whose spine is loose and never sorry, because what is it we're still apologizing for? I want to touch you there where you aren't pretending to be anything or anyone. And if it tells you anything at all, I promise to listen this time when you tell me I can. If only I'd stop waiting for our name to sound like home in someone else's mouth. Questions continued. Interior, that big angry brain of yours. Do you know the color of your anger? Are you familiar with the curves of your fury, the hips of your rage? How about what kind of lover it is to your longing, child to your fear, auntie to your passion? Does it spit fire or unsmoke? Do you thank her when she refuses to sit quietly while you button yourself up in something other than glory and awe of that sacred body of yours? Do you ever open your mouth all the way to let that lightning on your taste bud strike ground, or do you hold those lips shut and wonder why you can't taste anything with a burnt tongue? Truth, interior, 25, day. I deserve to be here. I mean well, I deserve to be here. I try my best. I deserve to be here. My hopes and dreams do not define me, but they are some of the most beautiful extensions, and I deserve to be here. Reminder, scene B, interior, exterior, our flesh, evening. The words of Nikita Slade, described as a brilliant sister, a dear friend, comrade, haiku poet, and Lisa's only baby. Someone I wish I could have met, but who lives on in their words, which found me right on time. Be soft, but be ready. Scenes from Becoming, Part 2, Interior Thoughts, Nights. Hold my hand, okay? All this movement, this being and breathing and learning and changing and purging and cleaning is a lot. And I forget to just sit and rest sometimes. It's strange not to miss anything or anyone. I've done a lot of missing things in my life until just now, in this brief moment where I'm just alone. And I'm pretty happy about it. Reminder, scene C, beneath the stars. I write to remind you that the last time you felt so lost, the last time you fell to the floor and cried out for an answer to your why, you found yourself instead standing over your shaking body, looking down and looking up at the same time, a circle of ancestors surrounding you, and I write to you to remind you that they told you, in their silence, in their posture, where they kneeled on the convergence of your destiny and theirs, the pathway to our future, the one you feel but sometimes question if you deserve. They offered no sympathy, just lineage, just a demand that you no longer insult them with such a rude rushing of your flowering, which has been centuries in the making, that you shake off whatever learned audacity compelled you to start speaking to yourself in daggers and release what compels you to be an accomplice to the murder of your selfhood. A promise that you better put that blood on your hands back in your veins, and a prayer that you remember all who you come from and all that you are, that it was your own words that pulled you up from that plywood floor. And that is how you honor us. Pen to paper, to napkins, the backs of receipts, whatever you can get your hands on. When I write, I am free, you said. So let yourself be. Scenes from Becoming, Part 3. Question. Things are settling. Sometimes if I look close enough, I can literally see the residue of change on my skin, on the surface of my vision. I've arrived from somewhere with a new face made from the same pieces. It's been changing every day, but the rate feels slower, Somehow, like the last few bites of your favorite meal, like the last kiss between parting lovers. Will you recognize me 5 years ago from now? Reply, well, I am still a confident child, and I know who I am, and I am not afraid to say so, and I do so often, and that is how I remain loving and kind. So yes, I think you will. I've got just one last thing for you all. Oh, thank you. This one is called People Who Feel Too Much. I saw an ad on Instagram once for a study looking for people who feel too much. Like feelings are a problem. Like we can feel a little bit for a little while in little bits, but anything more than that, then you're something to study, something to cure. When I saw this ad, I wanted to track these researchers down and tell them to send the people who feel too much my way instead, and not for some weird experiment, but because if feeling too much is letting the prints of a moment's hands be seen by more than the underside of your pillow, if feeling too much means being honest about the flood, about the grief of sinking, the guilt of swimming, the loneliness of feeling like everyone else has figured out how to float when you're struggling with the sting of salt water on your opened wounds. If that's feeling too much, then please pass me the contact info for those candid souls, because I am searching for them always. For those who love and miss and yearn out loud, who mourn the transitioned, the estranged, the hiding, old lovers, ex-friends, the people they have hurt, whether they're one street or one ocean away, and do so past some arbitrary deadline of acceptability, and who search for themselves endlessly and hurt earnestly with what they find or cannot find or no longer is. In honesty, I need these people who feel too much so that I can be understood when I say that I have made mistakes and caused harm. And that used to feel like a confession, but I know now it's a promise to do my part to make the world spin kinder. And my tears, and there are many of them, often, are just proof of my thawing in a world that wants me numb. In a world that is easier, quite frankly, to be numb in. And they will get it too when I say it takes almost everything in me to even try to keep that liquid in my palms and hold it here so that I can look at my reflection and stay still, just like this, long enough to look at my reflection and see something resembling possibility. And because we know this about each other, because we are not the first or the last or the only ones, we won't be surprised when we fail sometimes to keep it all contained. Because I fail sometimes. I wrote once in high school that I felt like no matter how hard I tried, I was always a cup half full, spilling in unfortunate places. And I mean the drama of that, right? But also the truth. And I'd argue there's a lot of reasons why we're all spilling. And maybe all of us, people who feel too much, reveal something unignorable about the tilt in the societies we live in, which makes them far too unbearable to go unnoticed, which is really inconvenient to the people who want society slanted or who don't want to acknowledge that it is. And maybe that's why people who feel too much are pathologized, why we are taught to feel bad about ourselves, because we are something powerful to be contained. Well, let these words be a call then to reveal yourselves. My fellow people who feel too much, those spilling in fortunate, important places. Step forward. We need you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm such a stickler sometimes on the clapping. It's just like, are there like, I just need just a little louder. Like, she just shared her heart and soul with us. Like, you know, a little more. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I know that's right. Thank you. I just wanted you to get your flowers in real time.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, y'all better come up and read, though.
That's all I have to say. So speaking of the open mic, thank you for that gracious, very, very subtle invitation, Kayara. Y'all better read. No, I'm kidding. So I just want to like share some information with y'all. Yeah, please get your shoe back. Love, just love. That's it. That's the sentence. Okay, and that's why it's love. That's her brother, y'all. Okay, we got the whole family in the front. Bow. Okay, thank you. Right. Come on. Yes. Okay, so open mic. I have not put out a sign-up sheet just yet. However, there is a notepad in the lobby on a table. Nobody's out there. So hypothetically, nobody knows who signed what. And yeah, we're going to take a brief like intermission, like, you know, take care of your body, give yourself whatever you need. And then we will come back, and I have the honor of being on the stage with Dewa Ayu. If you don't know, you're going to find out. And we're going to open up the open mic, and then everyone else, like, if you sign your name up, this is your stage too. This is your night too. And yeah, I'm excited to continue co-creating space with y'all. Now, if you don't want to read or do anything, I honor you. Your presence is enough. However, you have to talk to Kayara about that. That has nothing to do with me right now, okay? Yeah, so feel free. If you want to stretch your legs, stretch them legs. If you want to go get some of the snacks or a seltzer or whatever, go ahead. If you want to tell the featured artist that, like, she was so phenomenal, you know, like, feel free to also do that. Yeah. Break. Okay. I'm not going to sit. Hey, y'all. This is really loud. Sorry. I apologize. Sorry about that. So I want to name that there are no names on the sign up. And you know that is okay. There's one. Wow. First of all, I'm so sorry to do you like that. Let me check again. My bad. I do need glasses. So we do have one name. Okay, so thank you, Johan. So the flow, I'm going to be so honest with you, is I'm going to finish this delicious cookie. That is a priority of mine. I will not rush. And then I am going to invite the incredible Dewa Ayu onto the stage. I might just do that now. Could y'all give us a round of applause for Dewa Ayu, please? Yup. Yup. Yeah. You can feel free to play with the guitar. Like I said, I'm gonna finish this cookie. So just a few more minutes, talk amongst yourself, prepare yourself. Yeah, and we'll reconvene in just a few minutes. Thanks. I was honest. I was.
What kind of cookie?
I think it's a snickerdoodle cookie from Trader Joe's. Y'all know the box. It's quality stuff. Okay. Not that it matters. Show of hands, how many of you would judge me if I were to dust my fingers off right now? I did. I swept. I promise. Okay. So before we start, I just want to say that Kayara, you're amazing. I'm like, wow. Kayara, you're amazing. And when we were putting together just like this whole, I don't want to call it a show, but this space, kind of like co-creating this space, which I think you've already heard, but Kayara had this very vulnerable invitation. I think everything that she does, it kind of has an invitation of vulnerability or to allow yourself to be seen. And I wrote this poem last night / today. And I asked Ayu to join me in this. So we're kind of just coming to you raw. Like we just, yeah. Like we're just coming to how we're coming.
I did this part today.
Ayu did this part today. And yeah. Okay, Ayu. Whenever you are ready. After the rain, we are a sea of stars searching for shelter in the mouth of a musical midnight. Our Burma brown bodies bending like kelp as we sigh through a forest of footprints made of liquid light. You once said, touching a black girl was like holding a cup of windowsill wishes, like drinking the entire ocean with only your eyes. Together, we are gorgeous. A meadow of wildflowers and fireflies lit up under the night sky. How we become the wind, pointing to everywhere and calling it God. We are God. Do you think they'll make us myth? Say we never existed. Say they made us up. Myth. Myth meaning false, imaginary. Myth meaning forever. Who cares what history calls us when we are this close to God and dream in another language? We run into each other like moonlight, two indigo children letting loose our whipped tails, untying our tongues, unfurling into a choir of soft, careful hands. Look. Look how we hug ourselves whole. How we whisper our names like a pasture of secrets into the wind. And hear seraphim sing, talking back. Thank you. Another round of applause for Dewa Ayu, please.
I'm leaving the guitar up here. If anyone wants to touch it tonight with the mic, you're welcome to. And encouraged to.
Encouraged. Thank y'all so much. Yes, I would not invite you here to be vulnerable if I myself would not be vulnerable. I feel like that's like rule number one in facilitation. You don't invite people to do things you wouldn't do. And with that being said, I'm going to invite our first, I'll say first, not only, performer of the evening or sharer of the evening. At any point throughout this, someone else can sign up even after. Like we're just chilling, vibing. But what I do genuinely need is for, which you've already been doing, for us to really breathe some life into the space. When someone chooses to come up here and share something, it is so powerful. And I just want to make sure that anyone who dares to grace this stage or grace us with their presence knows that it is wanted, that they are wanted in this space. So, with that being said, our first performer, sharer, person on the open mic is Hannah S. Clap it up for Hannah S.
I'm going to be reading one poem. We think we can do it alone. We are told we're solid to the bone. We are fine with interest stacked on loans. We give our voice to please the throne. We stretch our minds to hold the lie. We say we soar but never fly. We think we own the sky. We forget we're born once to die. We could be wise, but choose the veil. We numb ourselves to others' wails. We see the signs, yet still derail. We catch the wind, but tail to tail, as if our hands alone set sail. We speak of time we do not feel. We need support like vines to climb. We stall at growth and speak in rhymes. We only credit the Greeks. We glorify what testimonies critique. We turn a cheek. We kill our senses to escape the reek. We are told we're better meek. We fear to be decided weak. We need to rely, so we let them spy. We let pennies work as bribes. We reject a fact to keep our pride. We follow scripts that divide. We miss the threat, then stand alone. We guard the front, our backside exposed. We trade our power for calm disguise. We close our eyes and call it wise. We dress our chains in freedom's name. We play their game and take the blame. We search for peace, but feed the war. We have enough, but still want more. We hold a cure, but chase a pain. We build alone, then curse the strain. We share a home too rare to spare. We are fed by the wind's low moan. We befriended stone. We roam, then ruin by claiming to own. We hold belongings guilty of murder. We wade through filth, convinced we won't ever beg for breath. We should have moved quick, but comfort is a clever trick. We mend when we care. We ascend when we admit we depend. When the help we need is the help we send. We have rarely been denied, so why defend another be deprived? We can choose alone, but none escape the sum. The price is paid as one. Thank you.
Damn. Shoot. Hannah. Dang. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Like, I honestly almost wanted to make you read it again. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was so powerful. Can we give another round of applause to Hannah for dropping bars? Like, damn. Okay. Listen, I want to sit in it for a moment. You know, I'm like, Hannah was our first person on this list. And like, honestly, I don't know, said everything that needed to be said. Like, do you know what I mean? In a way that it's like, I feel like there are so many parts of me that have been spoken to in that poem alone. And I would just love a few moments to just like be with it. Notice how it landed in your body. Notice, as my beloved cousin in spirit, Shiva Gittin said, like, notice what's sticking to the walls of your consciousness. Just a few moments of reflection in that way. Hannah, forgive me if I paraphrase incorrectly. What is arising in me in this moment, though, is what you named about wanting peace, but like paying for war. I don't know if it was I see you. Okay, do me. Okay, period. I'm gonna do me. Period. I'm gonna do me. Thank you. And also what you said about having the cure. But like, I mean, in some ways we're addicted to the pain anyway. I'm just like, yeah, that's coming up for me. I'm just like, Johan, am I allowed to curse? I'm like, let me not. Should I not? Okay. You know, what we do to believe in our own bullshit, you know? Yeah, like, you know, bullshit. Yeah, like, we know it's a lie. But we're like stretching ourselves or contorting ourselves to fit that lie. Like you know, you're just so much truth. Thank you for sharing that with us, truly. If y'all have other reflections, make sure y'all share it with Hannah. Hannah deserves to know. Now, Anybody else feeling called to come onto the mic? I see a few people in here who I could name drop, but I won't. Not looking in any particular direction. Okay, real talk though, I'm really not gonna force any of us to do anything. I will, though. I'm going to move from here, and I'm gonna sit over there. And if someone feels called to sit where I'm sitting instead, I welcome that. Now, we have some time and space. So if you don't have a poem ready, you don't got something in your notes app, but like something inspired you this week, I genuinely want to hear that. You know, if one of your friends told you something that really shifted how you view something, I want to know. And just naming, I was a teacher, so I can do this for a while, okay? So I'm just gonna sit over in there. Okay. So I totally could have done this all day, but then I realized that I'm also hungry. So I was like, I want to also honor my body. So I'm just gonna like give a few, like a 10 countdown. Unless that feels like too much pressure. And if anybody wants to come up here, you can. Otherwise, I'm gonna move us through some breath as requested. By our brilliant, I want to say mom here, but okay, by our brilliant mom in the front, okay? She asked for what she wants, and so I'm gonna do our little 10, very slowly. 10, Lucille Cliftons. 9, Lucille Cliftons. 8, Lucille Cliftons. 7, Lucille Cliftons. 6, Lucille Cliftons. 5, Lucille Cliftons. 4, Lucille Cliftons. 3, Lucille Cliftons. 2, Lucille Clifton. 1, Lucille Clifton.
Okay.
I don't really write anymore, which I just imagine some of you being like, that's a lie, we're always writing. And that's true, but I don't really, I used to write a lot. I'm going to read something I wrote 10 years ago. I was looking in my phone and I was like, okay, most of the poems I've written in the past 10 years most of them are like a sentence long each, which is totally fine. But a lot of them aren't in my phone. They're in journals, like in my house somewhere. So, but I pulled up my old WordPress and I was like, okay, this one, I'll read this one. For a while, I didn't really. This poem was written on a napkin in my back pocket while I was working as a school teacher. I was a paraprofessional for second grade. And we were at recess, and it just came when I was standing in the middle of recess, and I was like, I have to write this down. And I had a napkin in my pocket, and I pulled it out and just scribbled it, and yeah, didn't really name it. And I think one day I just was like, I'm gonna name this Presents. So I guess this poem is called Presents. I weep deeply, the tremors echoing in my skin. I release the pain, this form of energy into the universe so it can be recycled, transmuted into energy of manifestation for the other pieces of the universe. I offer forgiveness to you, myself, one of the infinite healings of the soul. With clear understanding, clarity, and rooted intention, I breathe in. Offering myself a new path, I breathe out. I breathe. I am learning how to hold the cold in my bones in a way that is adaptive and not debilitating. I am learning how to emerge from myself and love the shell that carried me, the shell I left behind in order to move forward. The one that allowed me to be who I am on this continued flamed phoenix journey of who I will be. What I'm saying is I want to be left unshelled, vulnerable and open to life, welcoming all of my wave particle duality, the duality of being merely and wholly an extension of the universe. I'm learning that vulnerability is the path to transformation, that transformation is the path to the world that I want to and can help create, that all truth lies in the unknown, and I'm here gathering all the light I can. I'm learning that moving forward is not about forgetting where you came from, but it is letting go of what no longer serves you. I remind myself daily to trust my intuition, my instinct, that the gut has yet to form cells capable of self-doubt. I'm learning to exist in the way these cells do. I'm learning that we are never done learning. Thank you.
You know, Raz, I'm so glad you came up here because I maybe was looking at you the whole countdown. So I'm so glad that you felt that energy. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing this poem that you wrote down on a napkin, did you say, and put in your back pocket? I'm just like, hello? That was a portal. I felt like we were sitting near a river, like, I don't know, surrounded by trees. Like, I don't know. That was really beautiful. And I loved even just hearing you breathe as you like read the word breath. Even as you inhaled and exhaled, even like as you wrote it, it was just so full of life, and it feels very sacred. And yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. Y'all got bars, okay? Y'all really got bars. Okay, it is 9. I want to honor all of our time. I am thinking to just guide us through some breath unless someone objects to that. And I want to announce also, I organized Not a NoPlace by myself, but okay? It's coming. We have a show at Northampton Center for the Arts, 33 Holly on December 6th. Hey, Joey. Joey works at 33 Holly, y'all. Tap in with Joey. Hey, in the back. Tickets, I think I linked some of the things out in the hallway. Otherwise, if you want to know about when our shows or open mics are coming up, please, before you leave, just leave your email and your name so that I can share things and you can join the mailing list. Yeah, those are all my announcements. Thank you so much for coming. This is a dream come true, really. Just having, literally earlier it was 6 of us. That was awesome too. And now it's a full room, and I'm just very grateful. And thank you to Kayara for being our feature and for bow. Okay. Thank you. You transported us. I always say not a no place is never the same wherever we go. I do steward the space, but also it's so much about all of us and what we decide to put into it. And I'm grateful for all that you have, all the seeds you've sown tonight in each and every one of us. And I'm doing the thank yous because after the breath, it's just like, I want to thank Johan, who, I don't know where you at, Johan, but can we give a round of applause for Johan? Because, yeah. Johan. Yeah. Because he's like that, okay? And to Holyoke Media, thank you so much for having us. And then a special shout out to Jules and to Alex, my beloved, for all of your support. I am going to blow up her spot and say that she's sitting in the back with a very furry hat on, and that's it. Anyways, let's ease into a little bit of breath, y'all, as we transition out. Any requests, Mama? Anything in particular? Okay. Don't mind if I do. Okay. All right. So an invitation to find and just notice your breath in this moment. You can soften the gaze or lower your eyes to the floor. I like to close my eyes. That's me. Do whatever makes you feel supported in this space. And in this moment, before we start moving around, I would love and I invite you to just notice within yourself. Like, notice the spaces that might feel a little more open after tonight. Notice the spaces within you that might even feel a little more like tight or resistant in some way to something. Just noticing how this space has changed you in some way or opened you in some way. And bringing to mind your intention that you set at the beginning of the show, of the open mic, our time together. And if you weren't here for that, create your own in this moment. Just breathing here, however the breath wants to come and flow through you. Before we do our collective breath to close our space, just bringing a little bit of movement to the body. If you'd like, you can start off on your sway again, very gentle. And maybe allow this kind of swaying energy, this motion, to travel up into your neck. Swaying. And on your next inhale, I'm just going to invite you to start like circling the neck. You don't need to like throw your head back or anything, just gently circling the neck. And seeing if you might sync your movements with your breath. Maybe you inhale as you drop your head back a little bit, and exhale as you come to your heart center. And just continuing this motion at your own rhythm and pace. In my classes, I used to say that this reminded me of like the sun and the moon. You know, bringing your head down to your heart space for that reflection that I feel like moonlight gives you. And lifting your head to the sky, feeling like the sun. And in your own time, switching directions. Moving at your own pace. And when you feel the energy of completion, let's get back into those shoulders. You can start with whichever direction you would like. I'm going to bring my shoulders up to my ears and roll them down my back. I'll inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, allowing the shoulders to melt down the back. And just continuing this motion, this movement at your own pace. And reversing. And when you feel the energy of completion, I'm just going to invite you to bring your hands up to the sky. You can stay here if you'd like. Otherwise, you can drop the arms down into a gold pose and gently, just like baby back bend. Taking one breath here. And on your exhale, maybe if you'd like, you can let your palms kiss your knees, rounding the spine forward. Taking a deep breath here. Then on your next inhale, bringing those arms back up. Again, you can keep them straight if you'd like, or you can bring them down into your baby back bend. On your next exhale, bringing your hands back down to your knees, rounding the spine. And just continuing this motion at your own rhythm and pace. And whenever you feel the energy of completion, we're going to take it into just a quick little twist to the side. So bringing those arms back up to the ceiling. You can allow your right hand to come to your left knee. Let the left hand rest on the chair or whatever is near you. And there's no need to spin all the way around. Just looking to the left. Take 2 deep breaths here. In your own time, on your next inhale, unwinding slowly, bringing the arms back up and taking it over to the right side. Left hand on right knee, right hand on the chair or whatever feels most comfortable. And taking 2 deep breaths here. On your next exhale, just deciding to let something go. Anything. And in your own time, unwinding, Bringing the palms, if you'd like, up to the sky, letting them meet, and bringing them slowly to your heart center. Thank you so much for being here. This has been a pleasure and honor. And yeah, I hope to see y'all at the next one. Thank you. For our mailing list, it's right here. I'm going to leave this here. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Or be shy and afraid. You're